Vladimir Putin is playing a game of chicken with Zelensky after planning peace talks in Turkey only to drop out at the last minute. Yes, the Ukraine president has been left high and dry by both Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, who are not on the guest list to attend the talks, despite Zelensky and his European leader counterparts demanding a ceasefire earlier this week.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці і українки. Щойно говорив з президентом Туреччини Ердоганом. Предметна розмова. Я вдячний президенту за підтримку. Я підтвердив йому готовність до прямих і предметних перемовин з Путіним. Україна завжди підтримує дипломатію. Я готовий бути в Туреччині. На жаль, світ досі не отримав ясної відповіді з Росії щодо численних пропозицій припинити вогонь. Російські обстріли і штурми продовжуються. Москва увесь день мовчала щодо пропозиції прямої зустрічі. Дуже дивне мовчання. Все одно треба буде Росії закінчувати війну. І краще зробити це раніше. Немає сенсу продовжувати вбивство. Президент Ердоган висловив повну готовність прийняти зустріч. Важливо, що президент Трамп повністю підтримує зустріч. І ми б хотіли, щоб він знайшов можливість бути в Туреччині.
Zelensky doubled down, slamming Putin, saying he's not ready for a ceasefire and he will only join the talks if Putin does.
If this meeting does go ahead and does not result in an immediate 30-day ceasefire, will you consider that to have been a failure?
No, of course. It meant that Russia is not ready for diplomacy. It's been only one side. It's only about Russia. But has been if they will not come, if Putin will not come, or if ceasefire will not be supported by Russians, by Putin, exactly by him. So it's been only one thing, that Russia is not ready for any kind of negotiation.
Putin's snub comes after European leaders threatened him just days ago with more sanctions if he does not agree to a ceasefire.
All 5 leaders here, all the leaders on the meeting we just had with the coalition of the willing, an unconditional ceasefire, rejecting Putin's conditions, and clear that if he turns his back on peace, we will respond. Working with President Trump, with all our partners, we will ramp up sanctions and increase our military aid for Ukraine's defense to pressure Russia back to the table.
But it seems like Putin isn't shaken by the threats, unsurprisingly, as these threats have been repeated for years with no real consequences. Putin responded to the demands of European leaders in a big way by leaving himself off the guest list for Turkey and instead sending delegates in his place. There have been mixed reactions to Putin's probable absence from the talks, with this person saying, "Here's Putin offering Istanbul talks to Ukraine a day ago. A day after, crawling out of his hole, bunker boy Putin rejects his own peace talks with Zelensky in Istanbul again." But this person agrees with Putin's tactics, saying, "Let's be clear, this is highly unusual in diplomacy. Talks usually begin at lower levels and only reach heads of state when a result is near. Zelensky still hasn't mastered the basics of diplomacy. And Putin's refusal to commit is leaving the whole world in the balance." Donald Trump is currently in limbo with his plans today, saying he will drop into talks in Turkey if Putin decides to turn up.
What happens on Thursday if President Putin doesn't show up in Turkey for the talks with Ukraine? What will you do?
Well, I don't know if he's showing up. I know he would like me to be there. And that's a possibility. If we could end the war, I'd be thinking about that. Now, tomorrow, we're all booked out. You understand that? We're all set.
But you move, he goes.
You will eat tomorrow. And so we have a very full situation. Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't do it to save a lot of lives and come back. But, yeah, I think they're thinking about something. I don't know that he would be there if I'm not there. We're going to find out. Marco's going. And Marco's been very effective.
But the world has faith in Trump's ability to broker peace, proven by his current tour of the Middle East, where he is bridging gaps with the region through economic deals and diplomacy.
Likewise, in Syria, which has seen so much misery and death, there is a new government that will hopefully succeed in stabilizing the country and keeping peace. That's what we want to see in Syria. They've had their share of travesty, war, killing, many years. That's why my administration has already taken the first steps toward restoring normal relations between the United States and Syria for the first time in more than a decade. I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria.